What's up guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to stop feeling unproductive and lazy during the COVID-19 quarantine. Hi, my name is Bren and welcome to the School of Epic. We talk about topics like productivity, finance, investing, minimalism, entrepreneurship, self-development, and more. Basically, teaching you essential life concepts and skills that your formal school never did. And in these videos, I like to focus on actionable steps and takeaways, things that, after watching, you can walk away and immediately apply to your own life. So obviously right now, a large majority of us are staying inside at home under quarantine. And over the past few weeks, a lot of people online have been talking about being unproductive, feeling lazy, and overall being unable to get work done. And what's happening because of this? Well, as a result, they're feeling terrible about it. They feel pressured to be productive. They feel guilt and shame. And even worse, some people are labeling themselves as lazy and kicking their own butts over it. So I decided to make this video as a way to address that. And I want to provide some comfort and alleviation during these difficult times. I hope that after watching this video, you'll be a bit more easygoing on yourself. I'm hoping you'll walk away with a different perspective. And if this video has any positive effect on you whatsoever, then I'll consider it to have done its job. So, with all that being said, here's the first tip that I want to share. With intention, use these first couple weeks to adjust to the new lifestyle. In other words, you want to give yourself permission to feel okay about not being 110% productive right now. Instead, focus on laying the foundations for your new lifestyle. And by that, I mean to focus on the basic essentials and get those down right first. So things like food, family, shelter, finances, your emergency savings and procedures. You want to use this time to create protocols for grocery shopping, coming back inside the house after buying groceries, disinfecting deliveries, etc. Overall, staying clean and safe. And be sure to write it all down so that it's not stuck in your head. The main thing is to mentally allow this period of adjustment without feeling guilty or bad about not doing other things. You want to be deliberate and tell yourself that you're going to slow things down, at least temporarily, in order to adjust. So that leads me to my second tip. You want to avoid knee-jerking or reacting based on what you see in social media. If you've been constantly browsing social media like Instagram and Facebook or even blogs, then you'll probably be seeing that everybody is suddenly finding new passions and becoming superhuman at their own productivity. You're seeing all these high productivity moments by other people, and you're reading about all these companies offering freebies and special offers. And what's happening is that you might subconsciously be feeling that you need to take action. You might be feeling pressured that you're expected to be productive, since apparently everybody else is. And you might even be comparing your own productivity levels to that of other people. Well, whenever you're browsing, I want you to realize the moment that you're reacting, or knee-jerking, as I like to say. And instead of having all these thoughts come up, instead I want you to stand your ground. Don't become reactive to what you see other people posting on social media. Don't suddenly feel that just because everybody else is becoming a bodyweight fitness expert, that you need to too. Don't suddenly feel that just because everybody else is reading and doing 5 courses on A to Z topics and improving their lives overnight, that you need to too. Remember, we're still living in a relatively new age of information overload, and we haven't yet learned to manage this effectively. So consider taking a break from social media if it's really that bad. To be really effective, you might even want to consider avoiding Instagram and Facebook for a little while. We often underestimate how much social media influences us, and so this actually leads me into my third tip. Schedule a time when you'll consume news about COVID-19 and then to stick to it. See, every day we're inundated with news about COVID-19. It's endless. And if you're watching this video, you're probably spending too much time consuming information and checking up on COVID-19 way too frequently. Instead, take out your calendar app and schedule a dedicated time for reading news about it. And that way, instead of being passive to news consumption, you're being deliberate about when you consume news about COVID-19. For example, these days, I've scheduled a time every morning and evening to dedicate 20 to 30 minutes catching up on COVID-19 news, and I'll adjust the time whenever needed or necessary. And by doing so, I'm preventing myself from spending hours unnecessarily reading and following news. And so that's the third tip. Now for the fourth tip, you want to optimize and set really simple, attainable goals during this period of time. So once you have nailed down the foundations I mentioned about earlier, and you realize the need to stop reacting to social media, and you've scheduled a dedicated time to check COVID-19 news, then gently consider continuing to work on your journey. That includes setting simple goals and implementing productivity techniques. And a short little plug, I do have a bunch of other productivity techniques in my other videos, so be sure to check those out. You want to start off by defining a small list of a few things that you want to do. Things that are specific, simple, attainable, and realistic for you and your journey. Next, you want to write it all down on paper. It's important to get it out of your head. Start off small. So for example, if you're struggling to get out of bed in the morning, don't expect yourself to suddenly implement a 60-minute bodyweight routine every day. Instead, make a small goal to simply make your bed every morning for just 5 days straight. It's really the small steps that build momentum into greater steps over time. Talking about steps and journey, this actually leads me into my fifth and final tip for this video. Remember to live your own journey and not somebody else's. Avoid living and fixating on somebody else's journey. That's their own life, and that's their own goals and their own journey. Don't compare yourself with other people and their progress. Instead, focus on comparing yourself with your past and bettering the person that you were yesterday. There's always going to be someone 10 times more productive and better than you, younger and older, richer and poorer, and so on. At the end of the day, you gotta accept this and remember to just focus on your own journey instead. And last but not least, I want you to realize and remember one thing. Your time and journey in quarantine, it's a marathon, not a sprint. In other words, you want to focus on the little, simple daily things instead of aiming for some grandiose, unattainable achievement that you expect to accomplish in 2 weeks. And yes, I do understand that there are some people out there who can pull off those big achievements in 2 weeks. But for the rest of us, remember to focus on your own journey and path and to not get sidetracked. Alright, so those are the 5 tips, and just to recap, first tip is to use these first couple of weeks to adjust to the new lifestyle intentionally. The second tip is to avoid knee-jerking or reacting based on what you see in social media. The third tip is to schedule a dedicated time when you'll consume news about COVID-19 and to stick to it. Fourth tip is to set simple and attainable goals for yourself during this period of time. Remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And the final tip is to always remember to live your own journey and not somebody else's. So what do you think? Did you find this video useful? If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, or share with someone that might find it useful. Feel free to share feedback as well, as my goal for this channel is to learn and improve myself as well. Also, don't forget to check out some of my other videos where I share more actionable productivity tips. And if there's something specific you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below and I'll look into making a video about that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an epic day.